more homes being sold right now versus last year? What is the median price compared from now to last year? Also, are there more homes on the market? Are people putting more homes on the market? Are there more pendings than last year from this year? Because it might feel a certain way. These are all questions I'm about to answer on this episode of Inside Abode. And we're also going to talk about the Windermere Ready program with a guest. So before I get into my guest, I know what it is. Hit the subscribe button. We try to drop every week. We try to give you good information and confident data points that you can go out into the marketplace or go talk to someone and they can say, well, here's what the national news says. And we say, no, actually that's local. So like, make sure you go to your local data points because those might tell a different story. And today we're going to just start today with looking at some of those data points. And then we're going to talk about Windermere Ready because I think that's a program that we've offered actually now for a while. And I want to make sure that people know about it because our sellers need to know about that. So we'll talk about the Windermere Ready program today as well. So first things first, let's look at the data in Pierce County. So here is the Pierce County data from the Northwest MLS. And I chose for this first section to look at the month of March. So when I look at all of these, I'm just looking at the month of March and then certain areas. So the date range I have for this month and pendings with multiple offers as of today are sitting at 25%. So the pendings that have multiple offers on there are at 25%. I do have a couple stores in here. So we've seen two homes that have had a lot of, that had multiple offers, had a lot of offers. One like crazy, another one had 6 or 7 or something like that. But it was interesting because what we're seeing, or at least what I'm seeing from where I sit, it seems like there's homes coming on the market that are getting some of these multiple offers because they're priced correctly, they're well prepped, and everything's good on those. But then because you have a bunch of inventory that's kind of been sitting for a little bit, or it might not be the right home for the amount of buyers that are in the market. So I mean, there's definitely, it's like it's just house to house, it's property to property, it's situation to situation. I don't know if looking at obviously knowing the data points are good to know what the trends are and what the patterns are in your area, but also know that it's property to property, it's situation to situation, and your agent does matter. So how well it's priced, how well it's presented, and all of those things, how well it's prepped, more importantly, and we're going to talk about that today. So anyway, the prep is very, very, very important. And that's something that, I don't know, there's a lot of chatter, but that's something that only an agent that has seen all the houses in that area and knows some nuanced things about that area, that's only an agent can bring that. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Let's look at this data. So pendings with escalation addendum. So pendings with an escalation, only 5%. And that's down for for the date range of 7% on the month. And it's, as of today, it's 5%. So that went down. Also pendings with multiple offers, the date for the month of March, it has 31%, but as of today, 25%. Let's go down a little bit more because I want to look at like active listings. So active listings for the month of February, active listings in Pierce County were actually up. We had 1,542 listings that were active listings to 12/31 in 2025. So in the month of February, we actually definitely had more active listings. Let's look at new listings, new homes that came on the market in February. We had 925 homes come on the market in February to 815 the year prior. So inventory is definitely up. And then pending sales, that's the one that's interesting to look at. Like, are pending sales up then? Because it might not feel like it or whatever, but pending sales are actually up right now, 943 to 911 last February. And I know that these are like, lagging indicators, lagging data points because it's February and I don't know, what is it, the 20th of March? But still, I think it's interesting to look at like the time over, the trend. What are we looking at? Like, how does this compare to last year? So there's that one. Sold listings. The amount of sold listings in Pierce County in the month of February, you have 620 to 612. So we had more sold listings. And then we had, I think this is the last one. Then we had months of inventory, second last one. Months of inventory in February, 2.5 months of inventory to 2 the year prior. So that means, looking at more inventory on the market. And then the median sales price, I thought that this was interesting, 78,250 for 2026 to 498,000 for 2025 for the month of February. I am on record here for saying that I think our median price can get to 600 again. And we are headed that direction really quickly. So that's something to be looking at as we go into the rest of this market, or into the spring market and into the second quarter. We're getting ready to get out of the first quarter. So those are just some things to look at, looking at trends. I'm going to keep looking at the data points, because as we get in these uncertain times and as we get into, I just want to make sure that we have a pulse on what is happening out there, and does it swing the market either way. So anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. Let's get to our guest. So my guest today has been on this podcast numerous times. My guest today is coming up on 6 years at Windermere Abode and has been in real estate for 20 years. Crazy. She runs a team. She has a daughter that's getting married later this year. Was that this year or was that last year? Was that this? It hasn't happened yet, I don't think. I'm going to have her quote me on that, because I don't think it's happened. I think they're still playing. And is on the Windermere Luxury Advisory Board. So definitely something to be looking at for if you are in the luxury real estate market. Definitely someone you want to be talking to. And we've done a podcast on that earlier. Anyway, Heidi Hurst of the Heidi Hurst team, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great today. I get to talk to Dave Jones, get to provide some good info to the public, all good stuff.
It's good. Yeah, it's always good. It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good to be on it. The funny thing is like this podcast, I record it every Friday. It's just kind of like something I do. And I know that there's an audience out there listening. And it's weird because and this is no disrespect to people listening. It's not even disrespect. It's just, I don't really think about it until someone talks to me out in the real world. And they're like, oh yeah, I listen to it. I'm like, that's crazy. You listen to the podcast? I don't know. It's interesting. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. And my youngest daughter is getting married in August this year.
That's what I thought. I just,
not married yet.
That's what I thought. I just didn't want to misspeak. So
yeah,
congrats on that. I hope that's going well and all of those things. What are you seeing out there on the market right now? I just went through some data points, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, I feel like, well, what we're experiencing is there are more homes to choose from, but I have to say that in our area, especially in the north end, I would say it's still the same. Like, homes that are priced well and presented well are selling quickly.
Okay.
Homes that might have a little something funky about them, might be on a busy street, might be taking a little bit longer.
Okay.
I feel like, I have been hosting my own open houses just to get a beat on the market. And there are a lot of people that are coming through my open houses. The same people are out there looking at inventory, still working with brokers, some not, see it online. I think buyers are really doing a lot of pre-interest on a property before they actually talk to their agents or get a pre-approval letter together. I'm really going to encourage buyers to get pre-approved before they go out and look at houses, because on one of our listings, the buyer came and looked, loved our house, and just took a week to get pre-approved, and the house is gone.
It was already gone.
Out. So, I think that, and it's been kind of a tough market to price homes, because there's not a lot of home sales that have happened for relevant properties around. And so, I meet appraisers at all my listings, so I feel like I have enough information, but it's kind of, you don't know what's going to be the poppin' one and what's not. So
yeah, that's a hard market to navigate, both for buyers and sellers, like that uncertainty a little bit. But I think the thing that there's a lot of conversation, obviously, and I don't know if whatever way that we roll it out to the public, the house is the house. The prep work is the prep work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is or it isn't. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I just feel like we just need to focus on being good, and giving good service. And I think that those are the things to focus on right now. So that's just me. But
And good data points, good information. I'm not
right,
making the
right,
executive decision with my clients as to where to price. I'm advising them. I am
right,
their top notch 20-year advisor on all of the things. So I'm advising, they're making their own decisions
right.
with
Um,
knowledge.
all right. So let's talk about this Windermere Ready program because
Sure.
it's been a while since I've talked about it on this channel, and it's something that we don't talk about enough, I think. And so I want to make sure that we dedicate some time to talk about this program. We just had someone speaking to us about that. And let's talk, and we can get into the nitty gritty in terms of I'll roll with you, but I do want to speak to the amounts, like, because I think that that's important for people to hear, like the numbers behind it and what that entails too. So I don't know if I have that question on here, but what is the program and how does it benefit sellers?
So there's two different programs, loan programs underneath the Windermere Ready program.
Okay.
We talk when I present this to my clients, I say Windermere has these great programs in order to help you because most of my sellers have equity in their home. Most of them do. So they have the money there, but with the economy being a little uncertain and inflation going up and gas prices, they may not want to take money out of their bank accounts or their, savings accounts. And so Windermere Ready is a great option for them to still be able to present their home in the best light
Okay.
and get that money taken out of their equity at the end. So it's no cash up front. There's two different programs, one from $0 to $50,000 and one from $50,000 to $100,000, different credit scores, different timelines. But I have an example here of if you were to take out $40,000 worth of equity, or $40,000 for this loan and used, for example, the whole $40,000 to put a new roof on, to paint the exterior, to paint the interior, to
Hmm.
replace the flooring that needed to be replaced when you moved in. Big things, staging is really a good way to use Windermere Ready. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different options, big things, little things. But there's an example in the Windermere Ready program that says, what is the cost for a $40,000 loan to do this work? The loan will automatically have just an $800 fee, which is bundled into the loan together. And then if you have a credit score above 700, your cost on that, if the home sells within 90 days, 1,160 plus
Okay.
800. So about $2,000 to be able to borrow $40,000 on this Windermere Ready program. And that $40,000 at the end will come out of your equity and you didn't have to put forth any cash. So,
Right. And that's huge for someone that might be in a situation where, you do your walkthrough, right? You go to the house, you see some things that need to be done, and they might not have the cash on hand or whatever. I mean, I just think that it's a great program, I think the better thing I learned about it is just how smooth the process is in terms of the funds being delivered. I think that that was the thing that actually surprised me the most, and it still does.
yeah. If you're borrowing under $50,000 within this program, you fill out an application. I provide a relevant market analysis that says where I think, as the Windermere professional, where this home will sell. You submit that title report to the program that's running this through Windermere Ready. And I've had clients get money in within 24 hours.
Wow.
And what's great is that you don't have to hire anybody specific. You can hire your own contractors. You can hire your own painter. You can ask your real estate professional, like myself, who's the painter? We can get bids. And then you can put that deposit down and have that money within, like, in such a short amount of time. There is a separate program for $50,000 to $100,000.
Okay.
If you're talking about big dollar amounts and big repairs, like a brand new roof on a 5,700 square foot house,
Yeah.
you might need over $50,000. I'm going to try to shy away from just that program, but it is there. It's a separate program. It's
Yeah.
there. It has different requirements. The interest rate's different, and you have a shorter amount of time to pay that back. But
Okay. Which
it's all
makes sense.
based
I mean,
on
it's
data and
more money.
information.
Yeah. Um, from your experience, what type of homes or seller situations benefit the most from Windermere Ready? And like, Where have you seen it make the biggest impact on a final sell?
Yes. Well, I've had a few clients. I'm just going to give the example of one of I have my youngest daughter's kindergarten teacher that I have known for 25 years, right? Bought a house with me, did some updates, was retired and decided that she needed to sell this home and put herself in a different position. Living by herself wasn't the best option for her anymore, but she didn't have a lot of resources in her retirement or in
Oh,
her account. So we talked about Windermere Ready and what we could use that for. And
yeah.
so people who don't have a lot of cash on hand, she had plenty of equity in her home. She made a good decision when she purchased. I can't remember, maybe it was like 5 or 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And the market appreciated. So she had equity. And that was the easiest thing. She had moved out. We coordinated staging, painting. She replaced the floors, she replaced the trim, and her
Mm,
loan was a little bit over $12,000 to get all of
okay.
those things. It was a small house. It was a tiny little, perfect little house down in Sumner, but yeah.
Still, I mean, that's still a lot of money. I mean, it's still a lot of money to like just so I mean, I don't know. This program to me, it works wonders for some people. I think if it's the situations right. How's using this program, the Windermere Ready program, change the way you advise sellers on pre-listing strategy? Like, did you do it differently before this was a thing? Because even before, I think this was like a 2020, 2021 thing where you had
Something.
these
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
And like, has that changed your approach at all?
I think it gives a yes to any no that a buyer might ask for,
Okay.
or a buyer
Okay.
might
Good way to
notice.
put
And
that.
so my job in marketing a seller's home is to do as much as myself and the seller can do to take away any no's. And that
Okay.
no might be, oh my gosh, the roof is at the end of its life. And so, you could get Windermere Ready loan and you could replace the roof. We get to advertise it. We get to talk about it. We get to talk about my client's brand new interior paint and all of her marketing
Mhm.
to take away the no, the thing that the buyer won't need to take on. So while it benefits the seller greatly, it also provides some ease of mind with a buyer. You can't make a house perfect, but you certainly can take away the no of things that come up in, walking through a house, etc.
Yeah, and that goes along with, I mean, basically what we're talking about is the prep and how to get to that prep. But like that prep is so important, I think. I feel like that's still an understanding, just who your stager is and understanding why it's important. And I just think that there's just different elements of selling a home that aren't we don't talk about very much and how much planning goes into that. So I mean, I just feel like and this program is a great case of that, which is just like, so can you tell me another story? Like give us another story. This will be a last story and we can
Sure.
but like yeah, give me another story about Windermere Ready that you've
Yeah, we
experienced
had
or you've
another
used.
client who moved out of state and had a home here in the Proctor district and knew when they bought the house during the pandemic that it needed some work and effort. And they had had it rented, so it had gotten a little rough inside. Not terrible, but we were able to get them, um, I think about $25,000 more than what they would have been
Wow.
able to get before. Now they did spend money. They painted the inside, they needed to paint the outside. They had the roof and the gutters cleaned, and they had a lot of yard work that they needed to do. And they did some of the
Okay.
yard work, but we were able to coordinate to get our trusted vendors around to help facilitate this, get bids, etc. for because they were not here with boots on the ground. She did come up for boots on the
Mm,
ground cleaning as well, and that was spring last year. And she had a very short. We had multiple offers. We didn't have crazy multiple offers, but we did have multiple offers, and they were able to sell their home in a shorter amount of time, which was one of their goals. And they were able to get more money for their home because it did have multiple offers. Versus if they hadn't, we would have listed about K less. And
mm,
I don't know if the demand would have been the same in the market because there was a lot of no's with that.
yeah. Wow, that's a great story. That's good to hear because there's some lessons in that. I hope people rewind that and actually listen to it again because there's so many factors. Some we can control, some that we can't. And then I think that what you're explaining is just focusing on the things you can control. And
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. And to have an option for it. I think, when I bring it up, Windermere Ready up to a seller, they're automatically like, no, we're good. Like we have money. It's good. And I believe that to be true because with both of these instances, we had sold these sellers their home. Right. So we knew what it looked like before. We knew what it looked
Right.
like now. And while maybe my retired school teacher didn't have that cash, she could have pulled it out of her retirement to make that
Right.
happen. That's anxious, right? Versus, she didn't even pay, $2,000 for this $12,000 loan that she took out. So most of
Yeah.
my sellers are always like, hey, I'm good, we're good, we got it. But when you provide this valuable information and this option that is such a low cost with the amount of equity that they have, I
Right.
can tend to like at least communicate with them. Windermere has great information. This is all in black and white, right? There's a lot of information you could get from your Windermere broker if I am not your broker. There's a lot of options that's out there that you really, if you know a lot and if you know a lot enough about it, if you know enough about it. And even as I'm sitting here, right, I read all of this and I've done many Windermere Ready loans. I just gave you the one that we had done in the last 2 years, two that
Yeah.
we had done in the last year or so. Yeah.
No, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. That's really helpful, though. I mean, hearing that story is super helpful. I think that that's even more helpful than knowing like what the program is or does, because sometimes you don't know how you're going to use it or the scenario that you're going to use, or maybe not even think of it at all. And so that's
Right.
kind of the point.
I'm
Um,
going to interrupt. I also
yeah, go ahead.
encourage my clients to ask for a little bit more in case something comes up in
Okay.
inspection
Yeah.
that we aren't expecting.
Yep.
And you only pay on the amount that is, you might be approved for $40,000. And if you only take $12,000 out, then you're only paying the interest on the $12,000.
So,
In that
okay.
24 hours, you may ask for that 40, but you're only paying, is my understanding, on that 12,000 that they write you a check for. But you could always possibly, or 15,000,
Okay.
whatever that dollar amount. So I always do suggest maybe a little bit higher in case they, something big comes up on an inspection
No,
that they were not unaware of. So
that's actually a really good piece of advice. The question that I was going to ask is, so let's say that I'm not putting my home on the market. Can I still use this Windermere Ready program?
no, you may not.
I was just asking, like
It's
I
a
know
good
there's someone out there
ask,
like, yo,
man.
so is this available for me? Can I just go get it?
Yeah.
Nah, you got to be selling your house.
Yeah. With 50K or under, you have to get your house on the market within a year.
Hmm.
And the fund restrictions on both of them are they must be related to sale of your home or a home. And they can do it for
Hmm.
estates, for trusts, things like that. They just need extra paperwork. So, if you're managing the personal representative of an estate and you are like, well, maybe if we just, took care of these things, we would sell it for more, that might work out for you, for them as well. So,
Yeah, that's where I see this being a really good use case. Is there anything else you need to let the world know about Windermere Ready? The Windermere, I can't talk. The Windermere Ready program.
yeah, I think that's it. I think that it's a great program. I appreciate that Windermere leadership has gone out into the marketplace and found a resource for us as real estate brokers to present homes better, to advise our clients and help them as they try to pursue forward and get the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the
Yep.
less issues possible for their homes.
There you go. All right. So thank you for that information on Winning Be Ready. That's actually really good stuff. I hope someone got something out of that. Those are gems and very good information for sellers out there that might be considering selling. And if you are, hit us up.
Yeah,
Uh
good stuff.
the last part of this podcast is called Deal Breaker. So these are, is it a deal breaker? Not a deal
Mhm.
breaker. Are you good
Okay,
with it? And you're like, nah, deal breaker. All right, you ready?
I'm
It's
ready.
only
Let's go.
five. All right. No Wi-Fi. Is that a deal breaker or not for you? If you show up somewhere and there's no Wi-Fi, like on vacation, for example.
No Wi-Fi whatsoever, I
Yeah,
would say
like
deal breaker. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
For
need
me,
it all
it's
the time.
definitely like, especially for kids. Like, if kids show up anywhere and there's no Wi-Fi, they literally don't know what to do with themselves. Like, they are pretty much
Yeah.
handicapped and
Yeah.
don't really know anything. Like,
Right.
kids are like, "What's the Wi-Fi? Where's no Wi-Fi?" Like, Yeah, no Wi-Fi. Sorry. You have to go outside or do something or be bored or think.
I know.
Like, yeah,
Crazy.
anyway, let's go. Pineapple on pizza.
Not a deal breaker. I
Oh,
can do that.
really? Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I live by myself, so I don't ever get pizza. So by the time I'm
Okay.
out with people and get pizza, I'll take pretty much
It's
whatever
just
I can
whatever.
get. Yeah. No bell
Yeah.
peppers, so I can't do that. But yeah.
Hot take. It's not really a hot take, but some people probably didn't know about me because I'm never around it. But I actually like Hawaiian pizza. I like
Yeah.
pizza. I like
Yeah.
pineapple on my pizza. It's
Yeah.
not a deal breaker for me.
I like it.
All right. Oh, this is a good one. Deal breaker or not, or you can say like deal breaker in terms of like, does it drive you crazy or no?
Caveats.
Standing up in the aisle right when the plane lands. Deal breaker or no?
Yeah. Deal breaker. Like, how rude.
I'm always like, yo, we ain't going nowhere. But I get it if you want to stretch your legs or something. I get that. But
Yeah. But if you're stretching your legs and you're getting up and pulling your suitcase down,
yeah,
it's
just to
like
stand there and take up
what
space.
I find fascinating with that is also that they may do that, but we all get out mostly in line.
Yeah.
So even though they got up and stood up and got their stuff out and they were ready, right? And they had to wait 20 minutes to get out of the plane, they still let everybody go in front of them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
They're controlling
personalities.
what they can control is what I
Yes.
like to
Yeah.
just
Gotta
the
love
way I like
people
to
through
frame it.
that.
They're controlling what they can control right now because there's a lot that can't be controlled. They have to wait.
100%. I agree with that, Dave.
Um, all right. No garage, deal breaker or no?
Not a deal breaker.
Okay. And last one, long lines for food or coffee, deal breaker or no?
I would say more a deal breaker than not.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like
I
standing
have
in lines for any
my
food.
days are like this, man. So like
Yeah.
if I pull up and there's a long line and I gotta be someplace in, 20 minutes, I'll go without because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's me.
right.
I do not like waiting in lines for almost anything, honestly, because we
Anything.
just
Yeah.
have so much to choose from. We have so much access. It's like, why am I waiting in line for it? But there is some of the novelty to it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some places really like waiting in lines. Portland, for example, the Portland food scene, if you just drive around, there's just lines everywhere. I'm like, God,
Everywhere.
people
Right.
just wait for
Yeah.
food.
There is
Shout out to
there is
Portland.
something about like getting in line though and talking to people that you don't know
Yeah.
if you're that person. I'm that
Uh-huh.
person. So for me, it's more of a time thing than just having to wait in
Mm.
line. But I
Mhm.
do love connecting with people that, I haven't met before. And like, how'd you hear about this place? I'm super
Yeah.
curious. So
I think that is too. Like I think the human element of it's this how hungry am I? And
right.
is this something that we plan to go do?
Right.
Those are all factors. But like
Yeah. True.
just speaking to that point about being in community with people or talking to people or experiencing the same thing, I think that those things are going to become more and more as we become more digitized and
Yep.
less. I like to say AI is in some ways is mudding. It's like having the third person in a conversation between two humans now. So like you might go to it to get some more information. You might go to it to get a second opinion. You might go to it. It's just like now it's like, wait, that's not a human. You know what I mean? It's different than going to like a counselor or something. So I don't know. And so I feel like we need more human to human because we now have a third party in the human to human communication pattern.
I
Does
agree
that
with
make
that.
sense? So like need to like I'm starting to try to learn people's names at the Y when I walk
Yeah.
in. What's your name again? I didn't get your
Yeah.
name. We
Yeah.
walk into all these places so much and I don't even know the person's name and I've seen them for the last 3 years. And it's just
Right.
like I feel really bad about
Yeah.
that personally. So just trying to be better. That's all.
Yep.
All
Likewise.
right. How do people get in touch with Heidi Hurst if they want to buy or
Well,
sell
you
a
can
home
find
or want
me
to know
on the
more about the
internet.
Windermere?
Yeah, Heidi Hurst team comes up on my algorithm pretty quickly.
Okay.
Located here in Tacoma, Washington. And then we serve all of Pierce County. You can find us on Instagram, Heidi Hurst Team. You can find me on Instagram as Heidi Hurst 253 because I mix the two because most of my clients are on my personal page and real
Mhm.
estate people are on my business page. You can find us and the team through all of that. And, I have this thing called a phone. You could pick up a
Yeah.
phone and give me a call because I love chatting, obviously, Dave. Cast this year. I want to
It's
have a
good, man.
conversation with everybody.
We have 52 podcasts to record. So
Yeah.
what's two?
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Thanks for leading us in this, Dave. I appreciate it.
just doing what I can do, just trying to make sure that people have the right information out there. That's all I want. I
Yeah.
want people to have information and good
Yeah.
information from professionals. So that's
Love
what
it.
we're doing.
Okay.
All right. So thank you for joining and talking about the Windermere Ready program. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go check out the Windermere Ready program, I'll link it down in the title of whatever platform this is on and also Heidi's information as well. So have a good one and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks.
Inside Abode. We'll see
Bye.
ya. Peace.